My name is Sandra Latibeaudiere, and I'm a social worker, and I am a lecturer in the Department of Sociology, Psychology and Social Work at the University of the West Indies, Mona campus. Having read the abstract and seen the area that the author is looking at, lived experiences of persons who have disability, this is an important area for persons who lecture about teaching people about disabilities. Normally, disability information comes from persons who do not have a disability, and so the lived experience, you really can't explain or describe the experiences from that perspective. But hearing the voices, which is an important component of the lived experience of persons with disability, will help not only lecturers but also policymakers to be able to guide them in their decision making and in their development and design of programs. Having heard the lived experiences of persons with disabilities and having this publication in the public sphere will help to guide policymakers and program planners to design programs that will effectively target the needs of persons with disabilities. Persons with disabilities are normally portrayed by persons who do not have disabilities, so we really don't know what are the specific needs of persons with disabilities. Again, additionally, persons with disabilities comprise many different areas. You have deaf and hard of hearing persons, so their needs are going to be different. So the designing of programs would have to be targeted towards their special needs. So a book like this that has captured the lives and lived experiences of persons with disabilities will actually help to target and guide the design of not only more inclusive and progressive policies, but design of programs that will be effective and efficient. Since we're moving towards a more evidence-based way of targeting our policies and designing our programs, a book such as this will help to guide our policymakers, having it grounded in the realities of our Caribbean and specifically our Jamaican populations with disabilities, will help us to be more realistic in not only our budgeting as it relates to the budget for the year for organizations such as Combined Disabilities and so on. This book, Disability and Inequality, Socioeconomic Imperatives and Public Policy in Jamaica, will help in the sense that having identified different needs of persons with the different disabilities would help to provide costs not only for at the economic level, but at the individual level, where families raising children with disabilities, persons themselves, adults with disabilities, putting in place housing, transportation, the cost assigned to providing those services. If our policymakers are not au fait with that, then it means then that they will either under budget in preparing for this vulnerable group, or it will not be on the agenda, it will not be on the table. And how can we achieve our objectives if we don't know what the needs are and what the costs that are associated with such a population would in fact be? If we know these things, which a book like this would help us in order to put a cost, quantifying what these specific needs are, because the lived experiences, which is, for me, that's the most important point in the book. Hearing the voices of the persons who are experiencing this disability and what and what are the challenges that they themselves face. When we hear the voices, that will help us, because that's not our reality. To be fair, we can only assume what these realities and what these needs are, but only the persons who live the experience can actually tell us what it is that their needs are. And based on us as policymakers, this will help us now to assign a costing and help us to forward plan, future plan, and to put in place other things that that population may need in order for them to live productive lives.